Why hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Remaking Sands of Time in a data pack. Today's video will hopefully be a shorter one, and then after this one I'll get the next one out probably later on in this week or the next. Then that one will be the one that I've been promising, the one where I talk about how to implement your own structures into the data pack. Today's video is actually just going to be a bit of an update video. Because guess what? We're finally in Minecraft 1.21.6 with the happy gas and all that stuff. And that gives us some additional features for data packs. And so I've been using those incorporating them into the current version of the data pack. All right, so first off, if you go over to the GitHub page, previously we had the README in a subfolder. So I've moved that out. So it's right here. Where it should be really, and I've updated a little bit of info here. So the main thing to take note of is, again, the release sides over here. So the most recent release is the developer release, and we'll talk more about this in the next episode, but it's version 0.3.0. But everything that I want to cover in this video is already implemented in this release right here. If you already have an older version, an older release of the data pack installed, like the beta or the beta 2, what you'll want to do is locate your world folder where you have the data pack saved. Go ahead and delete this, and then unzip the download and drag and drop that in here, so it should say Red Sands of Time just the same. What you will also want to do is, again, in your world folder, go into the dimensions folder. You'll see Red Sands of Time. Again, this is for only if you've installed an older version of the data pack. You want to look for the liminal space folder and just delete that, so that the game will auto regenerate that dimension. Okay, so here's the world that I was testing in. It's actually just a super flat world. So again, as always, for the setup installation steps, you'll have to go to execute in Sands of Time liminal space, and then run tp just into this location, into this dimension. You will receive at least one of these books. You'll receive this book. I'm getting this book because I've already done some testing on it. So let me remove that real quick. So this is a player guide. In fact, let me finish this setup first. So the next command that you need to run is locate structure, liminal space, and then teleport to it. Again, this is in the README. You all should have done this before. Okay, here we go. So now we're in the campsite and we have the big install button. So let me go ahead and press that. So again, this is for making sure that the data in our storage for the game is updated correctly for this version. So always press that button to make sure that's looking good. So now you've officially installed the latest version of Red Sands of Time. Yay! Okay, updates. So first thing, this book. Every player that enters this dimension now gets this player guide. So it talks a little bit about how to play the game. I do want to update this so that you can click on these and it will take you to the page, but that's for a future day. I just wanted to get it out. Hopefully it makes sense. If anything that doesn't make sense to you guys as you're reading through, go ahead and let me know. But yeah, that's just a guide for those who don't know what they're doing, so that should help out for that. And then we have this book, which is still a work in progress, but this is the admin book. So only the individual who clicks the install button, that was right up there. You may have noticed that I got that book again once I clicked the button, so only one person has this book. You can give it to other people, but you'll have to make sure that they have the tag. So I would just recommend just leaving that up to you, just one person. So if you right click on this book, you'll open a custom menu. And so this is one of the new features for data pack developers for Minecraft 1.21.6. So we have just an easy option for those admin commands that you used to use, right? So you used to have to type out /function, Red Sands of Time, admin, open, or whatever. So these buttons essentially just do the same thing. So you click open, right? See, there's all the thing that you had to type out. Just click yes, you can hit escape, and now the tents are open. They were already open, as you guys know, but anyway. So yeah, you have all of your commands there. So start, pause, we have a pause implemented, a resume implemented, end. Now end also has some changes updated with it, and we'll talk about that later on in the video. And then you have this presets button. This is still a work in progress, so yeah, that's all it does. So we'll work on that and I'll get back to you on that one. But yeah, so I just wanted a convenient way to have these implemented. So this book actually stays with you if you go into the tombs. This book, however, does not stay with anyone, so this will be removed from everyone's inventory. But let's go ahead and join a team. So green isn't very patriotic. You can see I've got my 4th of July skin on me. So let's actually go to blue because it's right here. So you'll notice a bit of text here has changed. So I've been trying to be more consistent with the chat messages that appear. So everything for the game has this little red sands of time information, and then you have the text. So a new mechanic that I've added is this second half of the sentence here. You can leave your team by walking onto the campfire in the center of the campsite. So everyone in this dimension has resistance. I'm in creative, but it doesn't matter. So no one really takes damage from the campfire or fall damage or whatever. But yeah, walking on top of the campfire will remove you from any team, and so it'll tell you have been removed from the blue bats. You have been removed. All right, well, that's something I'll fix in the next release. All right, very good, very good. All right, let's move on. So, oh yeah, let me actually go back into the blue tent and join the team so I can get into an actual game here. So let me go ahead and use my book and just hit start. Hit yes. All right, so you can see I still have the book. It does make everything slide over, but that's okay. So I have like my carpet, my torches, and I have the resource pack loaded. The newest release of the resource pack also has all the key textures. I talked about that in the last episode, so for those of you that remember that. So let's talk about updates internally with the game itself. So first off is damage mechanics, damage and regen mechanics. So you can see if I take damage here, I actually stop regenning. And then after about 4 or 5 seconds, I'll start recovering health a little bit. So that's something to keep in mind while you're running around fighting mobs. Another thing is, and I don't know if I really showed this or explained this in the last episode, I think I had it implemented by then, is the title display for lapis pickups. So you'll see that previously there were 2 numbers. It would show you the amount that you just picked up in the pile, and then like a total that you've recently collected. Now it just shows just the total. So you can see that number just keeps climbing up. But if I stop collecting for a second, it will fade away, and then I start picking back up. It resets to 0 and starts counting all over again with how much you've picked up. So I think that will kind of just simplify things on the screen, and then also hopefully, I know there was an issue in multiplayer where it wouldn't quite show the correct numbers, or just wouldn't show numbers at all. I haven't tested that out just yet, so maybe that's fixed, but I have to get together with a couple of people and look things out there. I'm gonna quickly shut up the timer by nuking the clock here. So I've also updated the loot that you can find in containers, or pots really. So you can receive either chain meal, chestplate, or leggings, or iron chestplate or leggings. So you can no longer receive a helmet of any kind or feet of any kind. And that's because I already have this custom, trim for the teams on their head and their feet. And so I didn't want to have armor that removed that. So you can get up to a half a point more of armor as you would have been able to last time or previously. So yeah, I think that's good. Next thing that I want to talk about is on the top of the timer, you'll see once again I have removed the pink key and vault and swapped it out with the red one. That is right, I have fixed all the red key mumbo jumbo and problems that were going on there. So let's go into a red key room. Let's go back into adventure mode here and place down some torches. You can see the puzzle as always. But if I actually clear out my space in my inventory with the new resource pack, you could see that there is a different angle for these displays in your inventory. And so it just shows the letter itself. It doesn't show like the side of the player head. So I'm hoping that this will make it a little more easier to focus on the puzzle and know what the solution is. I don't know what the solution is here. Leopard, that's definitely not the thing. But anyway, so moving on to something else. I'm actually gonna follow this path to the red vault, and I'm gonna stay in creative mode for this, but I'm going to loot, give myself loot, red key. So I have a red key. And when I open the vault with it, the vault block that is, you'll notice that a little painting pops out. So every vault block, I guess, needs some kind of item to eject from it. And previously I was just, ejecting air, and it would give me a little error message on the logs. But it wasn't really much of an issue, but it was bothering me, so I decided to just put paintings in. These don't really do anything. They're just, I don't know, maybe I'll have some kind of mechanic for this later on in the future, but I just don't know what to do with them. So if you guys have any ideas on what we should do with these paintings, maybe they could be like a bragging kind of collectible that you can escape the tomb with. Or maybe it shouldn't be a painting. Maybe it should be something else entirely. I don't know. Think of some ideas and let me know. Okay, so lastly, let's talk about the game's auto-ending mechanics. So previously, you would have to manually hit that end function or command. So, when I go into here, you'd manually have to type this out. I'm not going to end right now. I'm just going to go through this portal, and I'm the only one playing. This is a single player world that I'm testing in. And I will enter here and leave, and then come out the other end. Crap, I'm in the nether because I was in creative. Dang it. Okay, let's try that again. Not in creative mode. All right, here we go. So I've escaped, and then it detects that there are no more it detects that there are no more players in any of the tomb dimensions, and so it automatically ends the game and shows the scores on the scoreboard after like a second or two. So you can see that I did escape. It did count that one when I was in creative, exiting and pulling me back into here before sending me to the nether, that it did count my score. So that's nice. Yay. Eventually, at some point, I want to add little, icons to each of these to let players know who came in first, who came in second. But that's still an idea that I haven't worked on yet. But it will be something that is implemented in the future as well. Because I think that will help make it easier to see who actually won, especially when you're playing with a lot of teams. But yeah, once a player is teleported back into the liminal space dimension, they receive another copy of the player guidebook. So everyone in this dimension should have this book at all times. But if you don't, you can always do /loot, give whoever loot at Sands of Time. I think it's player guide. It'll give you another one of those books. Now, the auto-ending mechanics are not fully implemented yet because of players in spectator mode. If you have any players in spectator mode, it doesn't really work with that. So there are still some extra commands and edge cases that I want to implement to make sure that the game ends properly with spectators, so it takes them into account. So just be aware of that. You may have to still exit everyone manually from the tomb dimensions and then manually hit that end game option here. But I believe that covers everything for this quick Red Sands of Time update video. Next episode, now I promise this, next episode will be the episode where we cover how to implement your own custom rooms and structures into the data pack. So that's exciting. That is very exciting. And I want to see some cool creations from you guys, because I would love to implement additional things that you guys create into the data pack as well. Oh, well, thanks for sticking with me, you guys. I hope you have enjoyed playing the game so far. And I will catch you in the next episode. Bye-bye.